I don't think the guest is always right. There's guests that are really wrong a lot of the time.
John, you can't say that on
Yeah, yes, I can say that. I'm about to look in the camera. Yes, you are wrong sometimes. But when you come to our home, we're going to treat you like a guest, but also don't treat us like crap because you think you're deserving of our hospitality, right? But guess what? I'm going to give it to you even when I don't think you deserve it, because that's just how we operate. And that's the part where I think empathy is sometimes lacking on both sides. And I think that's something that's lacking in
the Fort Wayne.
And not just Fort Wayne, but in all of America and the world. There's like a little bit more empathy. It's going to drive us home, I think, and make sure that we can accommodate each other.
I got the smorgasbord, y'all.
Got a sweet platter with the brisket, the turkey, and that's the pulled pork on the side. House mac and cheese and our broccoli salad. Wings with our house wing sauce and the buttermilk gorgonzola. And our cornbread's got a custard cream cheese mix baked on the top. I threw some honey butter on the side as well.
Wow. What are you guys most excited about looking at this right now?
Probably the brisket.
Well, the brisket looks stupid good. This bread. I'm excited to try this, honestly. I like broccoli. Let's try it out.
That would be a good cornbread.
Well, I was at DeQueeze for about 5 years. Sycamore Hills after that. It's been a good road. You know, I got to do some fine dining, farm to fork, which was really special. Playing with the Wagyu and the hogs, and then, you know, being here and being able to do barbecue. It's super fun.
So being involved with the bar, the front of house manager, what influence do you have on what actually is happening like on the draft line? Is that you guys being influencing on that, or is that more just like the brewers kind of creating what they want to create?
So ultimately, it is what the brewer, he has creative license to brew the beers he wants to make. And we have a set list of flagships that we have to keep in constant production and keep on our taps.
How many of those do you guys have?
We have 5 flagships right now. They're also the 5 beers that we offer in our custom art cans.
Okay.
There's like regional barbecue and whatnot, like for landing. Is there like this area that you guys focus on? You guys try to kind of show like the components of all styles in a sense?
Well, with like our chicken wings are our own, and they're really kind of special, so we're really proud of those. We do more of a Texas brisket, so it's heavy salt, heavy pepper. I put some of the coffee crust on there also from next door.
Well, even like thinking, I guess, into like the farming market, right? Like when you guys are creating even like the list, talking about what the creating is of that list, are you looking to what's going on outside the market? Are you looking more like what's going on inside the market, like what your guests are telling you? Are you kind of like, hey, this is stuff I'm seeing going on over here that's really fucking cool. How do we do this really cool shit and bring that to here? Or is it, hey, this is what our guests are telling us? How do we attribute, like, you know, bringing that to them?
I think it's a combination of the two. We certainly want to take guest feedback, and we also want to like look outside of Fort Wayne of like what other breweries are doing that we can bring to Fort Wayne to do ourselves. But ultimately, it's about like the beers that sell the best. Currently, I think the balance is struck by what people are going to buy and what we have the capacity to brew. Right now, we are running with 3 fermentation tanks, and we are selling a lot of beers. So we're not in a position to be able to experiment and do oddity beers, which you see at a lot of smaller breweries around town. We need to stick to the things we know are going to sell well and frequently, and the customers are going to continue to come back for. In the future, we'd like to get to a point where we have expanded brew capacity and be able to experiment more with our styles and our ingredients. But until that point, we're just trying to keep up.
But so many places have the skin is like soggy and like wet. So it's like almost like raw chicken skin in a sense, flavor-wise. But every time I come here, like have like a nice crispy texture. They're not like too soggy in a sense.
Yeah, I think it's the process. You know, after the brine, it goes on the racks, and we let it set for a few hours and kind of like rest and relax and dry out a little bit, and then we're going for them. So it's not wet. You know, when we put them in, it has more of a pellicle by letting it set for a second, where the smoke adheres to it. Where instead, if you don't let that set, you're not really smoking. It's just coating. So. From the brine to painting them to the dusting to separation, you know, and then you get it, and then it gets out there, and it's a good wing. And good job, guys.
So if you had to describe like the perfect wing, like what is a perfect wing? What?
Flat. Oh, it's a flat for sure.
Flat?
Yeah, I'm a flat guy. Yeah, I think it's it's so easy to eat and it's so delicious, you know. Our wing is more spicy but not hot, you know, like, but sometimes you just want that crazy hot, and I love that, you know.
For me growing up, like, having food was enough. Getting to decide like the proximity of where the food came from was like a luxury, I think. It's like, do you think people, because they know it comes from around here, are they willing to pay more for it? What do you guys think about that? Like, is it?
There's a certain clientele that is willing to pay more for it. But I think if you're catering to a certain clientele like that, you're limiting yourself. And so what you really want to create is a menu that's good and can hold itself on its own. And so, like, for example, we tried lots of things. Like, we tried ground beef from various different providers, and we found out that, like, for our burger, the Wood Farms ground beef just sets itself apart from the rest. It's way more juicier. It's, like, way better of a flavor just overall. And you could tell the difference right away. And so we just wanted to create, like, a good burger. So, like, for us, a lot of the time, it's less about locality of ingredients and more about the flavor of the product.
Now that we get to like choose where this meat's coming from, is like, I think it's a luxury in a sense, because you're choosing like, well, I get to choose where this food comes from, which is good, but at the same time for me, I get kind of like self-conscious about it. It was like, could we feed more people for this price point? You know what I mean? Is it, which landscape are we winning on, I guess? But that's one thing that comes to that. It's like, I want to support producers and whatnot, but how can I feed more people in a sense, right?
In terms of like interpersonal relationships with the restaurants, like if I'm out of something and I need help, I appreciate that you guys are there to help me, and we reciprocate as much as we can, and it feels like a community within itself.
Like neighbors. Like, hey, I'm out of eggs. Can I get 2 eggs? Like, yep, got you. That's exactly what it feels like, 100%, man. So
what I experience when it comes to like customer experience on the landing is that there are so many options. There's so many options and so many different styles. And what I appreciate at least about the Landing Beer Company is that we offer people a place to come and wait for their reservation to open up. They come in, they enjoy some good beer, and oftentimes they say they'll be back after their dinner, and true enough, they do. They come back and have another round or a nightcap. And I think that synergy is wonderful within what we have going on.
It's nice to be here, you know, and just be in the town that we have that people accept and support us, you know, and so we try to put out the best product possible. And I don't know, I'm just passionate about it. You know, like I get excited coming into work, you know, on my drive in, I'm already thinking my prep list. I'm already getting that going. And it's like I'm 2 hours deep before I come in the back door, you know, so it's that excitement. It's that tickets are not stopping, and it's crazy, and it's go, and you find your zone and everything goes quiet. And you're just like, that's why I do it. There it is.
when I think about service, I think about hospitality. This is an argument that I've had with many like hospitality professionals personally. What's more important? Is it what's coming on the plate? Is it what's coming in the drink? Or is it the service that they're getting, right?
So we come to work to create community and communion through food and beverage. And this style of service, I think, facilitates that connection. Sure.
How has that like adjustment been for you guys? Like the adjustment of going from normal service to the more fast casual? I know that initially you guys kind of got some blowback from people, like people being upset with you. How is it now that you guys are a few months out?
With the employees themselves working together as a team, you don't have servers pitted against each other, creating a dynamic of
this person's got a party, this person doesn't, and now they're going to get all these sales and I don't. But it's now, yes, it is.
Everybody's working as a team, and we're all making money. And then when we're happy and we're here and we're having fun, it trickles down to the customers. They see it, they feed off of it.
I come in contact with a guest that wants the hospitality experience. That wants somebody that is willing to be friendly, take care of them, walk them through what they are basically maybe don't know about this menu. We obviously have a lot of regulars at Mercado where we have people coming in that already know what they want. But even in that sense, being hospitable and like being ready to take care of that person in a different way than you would the person that's their first time. Adjusting, right? That adjustment is being hospitable. And I think that is like what makes people come back to many places.
I feel like Fort Wayne is entering that gray area that's only going to last like 5 or 10 years. It's like, yes, this is a good place to go. It's a good place to go. But like, those are the narratives that we know because, our parents have been going to it. and like, you know, there's seasoned veteran servers there, but eventually like that'll fade. And I feel like that's where Fort Wayne is in this like limbo of figuring out like, okay, what worked before, it's not gonna last, and we have to up the ante.
I believe the system is really efficient and functions really well, and especially now that we have practice.
We need more fast casual places to really create an industry that's livable and survivable for us, but also for our staff and everything like that. But it is like this is what Fort Wayne needs, is these types of styles of restaurants as far as the service style. You know what I mean?
As people are growing familiar with our system and our products and what we offer, somebody can walk in, sit down at the table, order a beer through the QR code, and it's at the table faster than a server could have come over and said hello. We cut out the middleman, and there will always be people who don't like this style, but for everyone who doesn't like it, there's 5 who love it. And at the end of the day, you can't make everyone happy in the restaurant industry.
Absolutely, man, absolutely.
I think it's a great system.
If you get someone with the most money and someone with the least money, they're all going to agree that service and hospitality is the most important thing, right? You go to a sketchy dive bar and get the best service, and that might be better than like a top-notch whatever restaurant in Chicago that treated you like crap. And we go to a big city, they treat you like another person because someone else can sit there no matter what. When you work with independent restaurants like us, you hopefully are giving them a value of knowing like, hey, I'm glad you're sitting here. But people are super subjective on what's quality and not, that you can't compete on that.
And I don't mean to throw shade, but when I think about I don't think that they have good food. I think their food is really subpar, and I think it's been really constantly like the same menu for as long as I can ever remember. When I first started going there like 8 years ago, it was exciting. When I go there now, it's like, this is the same menu I saw 8 years ago. This isn't exciting anymore. They're not pushing themselves anymore, right? But why do people keep going there? Because the fucking hospitality that they deliver and the service standards that they deliver, that's why people go back. It's not because of the food, because the food is not good. It's not because of the drinks, because the drinks were literally 8 years also in the past, right? It's because of the hospitality that the people, the individuals working in that building are creating that are making people want to come back. And that's just something that I think is really different. Even when I think of, I'm sorry, boring as shit, right? But people go back there because people go back there on a regular basis, but it's because I imagine those servers have been there for 10, 15 years. They know their guests. They know how to work that floor, that sales aspect. They know what they're talking about, so they can talk about them like off the cuff, and they can sell this stuff casually. And they make that guest feel like they're walking into a home and they're walking into a comfort level, as opposed to walking into something where I don't really know this menu, but the server also really doesn't know this menu very well, and I don't really know what the fuck to get, so I'm just gonna get the burger, I guess, you know?
Fort Wayne, I feel like is at a cusp, you know, where it's kind of like trying to figure out what do we want from our meal. And so much of my life, and I feel like a lot of people's life, was like, I just want to get full and I want it to be a good value when I go out to eat.
It's a very Midwestern
Yes, it's
thought
almost a
process,
Midwestern
too.
thought process, yes. And so it's just, especially with Mexican food and really ethnic food as a whole, we have this idea of value meals, right? And so it's just like, my plate should be this big for this many dollars, and I should feel this type of way, and it should have these ingredients. It's so much less of that, I feel now, and more of people being like, this is a quality meal that I can enjoy. It's nice that it's a good atmosphere. It's nice that I have great service, and it's nice that I have good drinks, and the whole package comes together. And it's less about like value or ethnicity, and it's more about the quality of the meal that you're getting. So I just feel like we're right on that cusp. Yeah, I feel like we're right there changing from that.